Have you ever looked at your car parked in the driveway and thought that it could actually be a tiny power plant? It sounds a bit crazy, right? But General Motors is actually betting that your electric vehicle is going to become a major player in how we keep the lights on. It is a wild pivot for an automaker. They are moving away from just selling cars and starting to act like a massive energy utility. Think about this for a second. We have all these AI data centers popping up everywhere. They are sucking up massive amounts of electricity. Our power grid is feeling the pressure, and it is honestly kind of scary to think about the grid failing when we need it most. GM basically looked at this and realized they have a secret weapon sitting in millions of driveways. They call it a wealth of electrons. I mean, they are not wrong. GM says there are currently over 250,000 bidirectional-capable Chevy, Cadillac, and GMC electric vehicles on American roads. If you put all those batteries together, you could theoretically power 120,000 homes for an entire week. That is a lot of backup power. It is like a giant, invisible battery hidden in plain sight. They have been trying to crack into the energy generation and storage market for about 4 years now, and they are finally hitting their stride. The company is rolling out a firmware update for their vehicle-to-home customers. This is the big move. It allows those cars to actually push energy back into the grid. It is called vehicle-to-grid, or V2G. Imagine your car helping the grid stay stable during a heat wave. GM is currently testing this out in Northern California with PG&E. They are working with a localized fleet of 52,000 electric vehicles. The goal is to have that specific project fully operational by 2030. They are also stress testing these protocols with 30 of their own employees in Michigan. It is pretty cool to see them experimenting like that in the real world. But they aren't just looking at the cars you drive. GM is also working on industrial-scale storage. They are partnering with a company called Peak Energy to develop sodium-ion batteries. These aren't for your car though. They are looking at this for big commercial storage projects. It is a smart play. They are also teaming up with Redwood Materials to recycle batteries and turn them into new storage solutions. They are basically trying to build a full loop where old EV batteries get a second life as grid storage. It makes me wonder why we didn't think of this years ago. Now, I have to be real with you. It isn't all sunshine and rainbows. There are some serious hurdles to jump over. Wade Sheffer, who is a VP at GM Energy, pointed out that the regulators are still catching up. We need them to formalize this whole infrastructure. Right now, the administrative process for just getting enrolled in these programs is a total headache. It is like trying to navigate a maze. And we all know that the lack of convenient and reliable charging is still a massive problem for people thinking about buying an EV. If you can't charge easily, you aren't going to buy the car, and then the whole grid balancing plan falls apart. Speaking of charging, GM is also launching something called Energy Pass. This is honestly such a relief. Right now, charging can be a nightmare of different apps and memberships. Energy Pass lets Chevy, Cadillac, and GMC owners use one single app to start and pay for charging across Tesla, Electrify America, and IONNA networks. They even plan to add EVgo and ChargePoint soon. It is about time things got simpler. It is just funny that we need an app for everything now, right? But if it helps keep the car charged and the grid stable, I guess it's a win. So, where does this leave us? Well, industry analysts expect that we might see these vehicle-to-grid technologies become a standard expectation for EV owners. It is possible that your future car might even earn you credits or lower your electricity bill by participating in these grid balancing programs. It is not a guarantee, but the logic is there. As more EVs hit the road and AI continues to demand more power, this could be the exact solution we need to prevent those dreaded brownouts. We might be looking at a future where car manufacturers are just as important to the energy sector as traditional power companies. It sounds like something out of a futuristic movie, but the tech is already moving into our driveways. It is pretty wild to think that your car could be the thing that keeps your neighbor's lights on during a storm. It really makes you appreciate how much our relationship with technology is changing. We aren't just consumers of energy anymore. We are becoming active participants in the grid. It is messy, it is complicated, and there are a lot of regulations to figure out, but the potential is huge. GM is clearly banking on the idea that these parked, idle cars are way too valuable to just sit there doing nothing. What do you think? Would you let a power company pull a little juice from your car if it helped stabilize the grid? It is a fascinating shift in how we power our world. If you found this as interesting as I did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so we can keep diving into these big tech shifts together. It helps the channel out a ton and keeps me motivated to keep digging into these stories. I'd love to hear your take in the comments, so let me know if you think this whole V2G thing is the future or just another corporate experiment. Thanks for hanging out with me today.